The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Like, for real, welcome back. Hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. How you doing, my boy?
It's been a while, man.
It's been a long while, man. First off, how you feeling?
I done shook the COVID. I'm free at last from quarantine. I'm good, bro. I'm glad for that to be over with, man.
Hey, I don't know who need to hear this, but I heard that butterflies are now carrying COVID as well. I don't know who need to hear that. You can pass that message along.
Boy, you should see the look she just gave you.
I know, man. I already knew it. Man, but man. We first off, man, how was your Christmas, man?
It was good, bro. It was spent too much money on them kids as usual, but you know, it was good.
Don't get me started. All I heard was when I one of them ran through the house. Got a PlayStation 5. He opened it, he ran through the house. And
you said ran through the house, I already knew who it was.
Yeah, you already know who it was. 4.2 speed through the house. But yeah, man, it was but nah, we've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed seeing the kids enjoy their stuff, enjoy each other. Trying to think, what's that? Yeah, I did Christmas. I cooked, man, and I made fried chicken. That was called perfect fried chicken, not by me. They said it was the perfect fried chicken, and all I had to say was Miss Minnie don't burn no fried chicken. But nah, but man, it's been sports. Oh my goodness, I've enjoyed watching football.
It's been a crazy bowl season, man.
We gotta talk about that. We definitely gotta talk about that. What's up, Mr. Thibodeau? Tasha Thibodeau from Facebook. Got the most famous Facebook LSU Tiger group. I'll make sure y'all go check it out. But I say the most famous because it's always something going down in there. There's always something. No mind. I ain't gonna stir no pot. Not yet. It's too early. There you go. So the real LSU Nation is in the house. There you go. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, you know what we gotta do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, we are back. Man, let's talk about this ReliaQuest Bowl. LSU taking on Wisconsin. LSU, of course, coming in 9-3 with a chance to go to back-to-back 10-win seasons. Welcome in Wisconsin, who's 7-5. Currently, the spread is 8.5 in favor of LSU. It is a total of 57 money line plus 270 for Wisconsin, minus 340 for LSU. So that's where we stand with that. At least the numbers
on the game.
Say that again.
You got some action on the game?
I hadn't put anything on it, honestly, not yet. But
I got them in a parlay at minus 10.
Okay. I ain't put anything on it yet, and it's probably the same reason why a lot is just because of the whole opt-out stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's go there. What we know so far. What we know. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I'm doing all this. Dude. What we know so far. Mike Denbrock is no longer with us calling plays. He has decided to take the job at Notre Dame. But we got Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton, who Joe Sloan will be calling plays. He'll be up in the booth as normal. Hankton will be on the sideline, but they did get together and do the game plan together along with Brian Kelly, who said that he will be, I guess you can say, giving his input.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's anything different than what we normally see anyway. But that's what we know. Jaden is not playing. Malik and Brian Thomas are playing. As a matter of fact, the only other player that is not playing that we know of right now is Zalance Hurd from the 318. He is currently away he did not travel with the team. Contemplating his future with LSU, possibly maybe entering the portal. With that said, I don't know what Wisconsin got.
Well, I'll tell you this. I did a little bit of research.
All right.
Wisconsin has 3 guys who have opted out to go to the NFL. And then they have 6 other guys who have entered the transfer portal. All off their 2-deep roster. So that's 9 guys missing off their 2-deep. They will have their quarterback back, Tanner Mordecai.
Yeah.
Who, he battled injuries a lot this year, but he kind of came back toward the end of the season, and he's been there for like the last couple games. So their starter will be there. But it ain't the typical Wisconsin offense that LSU fans or college football fans are used to seeing. It ain't that 2 tight end I formation running football. It's more spread now. They got Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, who was at North Carolina, for Sam Howell and Drake May. He's bringing that same type of offense to Wisconsin. They more spread, but they don't really have the personnel yet to run that system the way they want to. So that should benefit LSU defensively, being able to kind of put some pressure on their receivers because they don't got the receivers that we're used to seeing in the SEC or that Wisconsin needs to run that system. But I think ultimately it's going to come down to LSU being able to get stops on defense and how good Nussmeier looks as quarterback. You mentioned Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton kind of having an audition for their role of co-OCs, but at the same time, this is Nussmeier's pretty much audition for them for the starting position. So I think those are going to go hand in hand. How well does he look kind of might depend on how well they do, and how well they do might be, depending on how well Nussmeier plays. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see that dynamic. And also, you mentioned nobody really missing off your LSU's, starting lineup. But what does that wide receiver group look like with a different quarterback now? What does that timing look like? What does that chemistry look like? Tasha Thibodeau mentions, what do y'all think about Nuss to Neighbors? I'm interested in to see how much we see of Nuss to Neighbors in that game. Does Neighbors just come in to break the record and then kind of just coast the rest of the game? Does BTJ play the full game, or is it just one of those swan song type, get him a couple catches, get him a touchdown, and call it a day, and let some of these young guys get some reps? I'm interested in to see how they play it as far as the reps, the rotations, how much they value getting young guys playing time versus how much they value just going out there and getting the win.
Yeah. I'm gonna say some of what I was gonna say in response, because what you say is spot on. But I'm gonna wait till we get to expectations and what we want to see. But what I do want to say, what we know so far, because you talked about Wisconsin. I want to talk about the mindset of LSU going into this game. We've heard a lot this bowl season, meaningless bowls. We've heard that a lot. We've heard that from fans. We've heard that from media. We've heard it on TV. I saw you post a tweet, and I tell you what, I can't like it. You can only like it one time, but I would have liked it 1,000. You said, what's the kid from USC?
Miller Moss.
Miller Moss. You said, this ain't meaningless for him.
Exactly.
And he went off. With that, the mindset going into this bowl game, there was a question asked to during the press conference with Brian Kelly and Luke Fickell, and they asked, who would play you in the movie? And I forget, Luke Fickell was like Adam Sandler, and Brian Kelly's response was, "We don't have much time for movies." In Baton Rouge.
Like Chance said, LSU treating this as a business trip.
Yes, and I love it. Speaking of, Happy New Year to you as well, Chance. But yes, looking at it, how they're approaching it, this is perfect. This is an opportunity again for 10 wins, back-to-back 10-win seasons. When was the last time we've had that from LSU?
I'll say this. This is something I've been talking about a lot when speaking of opt-outs and how many players deciding to hit the transfer portal and things of that nature. It's culture, bro. It's the culture of the program. If you look at what happened with the Florida State Georgia thing, to me, that's a semblance of the culture of those programs. Both programs felt like they were slighted. I know I'm kind of changing the subject, but both programs kind of felt like they were slighted, but one of them still went out there and played the game with something to prove, and the other one kind of took their ball and ran. But if you look at what LSU doing, LSU going out there with really nothing to play for, you know what I mean, except for 10 wins. But everybody's going up there to play. Everybody who can play for the most part is playing, and they treating it like they got something to play for. And that says a lot about what BK has established as the culture of this program. You don't see guys opting out to go to the NFL. You don't see guys hitting the transfer portal 20, 30 deep like you see in some of these other programs. You don't see guys saying, I'm not going to play. I'm going to, whatever the case may be, injuries or whatever. You got Mekhi Wingo had surgery and is coming back to play in a bowl game. You would have never seen that in some of these other coaching tenures here at LSU, which says a lot about what BK has done and getting buy-in from the players into what he's trying to establish here at LSU.
Man, spot on again. Never mind. I was about to say I might have to catch COVID. But let's move from there. Right? We talked about the culture. We talked about what we know. Let's talk about what we want to see. Right? In this bowl game, we've talked about Nuss. We've talked about, Hankton, Joe Sloan, this audition. This is also an audition, I will say, because there's a lot of young DBs who got a few reps here and there. and they were kind of preserved, I think, in a way to kind of keep that red shirt a little bit. There was some running backs, so a few of the younger wide receivers. At this time, bowl games don't count anymore against your red shirt. So let's talk about some things we want to see. Let me start first. I want to see the young guys get in midway through. I say third quarter or so. I'm not saying we're gonna blow the doors off. I can see it happening. I don't want to disrespect Wisconsin and what they may be, but when you've got opt-outs like that, you've got a team that's in a transition, meaning, like you said, they're trying to change their identity. They're not there where they need to be. We've seen that throughout this year, and they've struggled on offense. I want to see us put points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nuss. I want to see from Nuss. I don't want him to be Jaden. I don't want him to try to be Jaden.
Yes,
I want Nuss to be Nuss. I want Nuss to be New Mexico State, excuse me, Nuss. I want him to be Georgia Nuss. Shoot, I'll be honest with you. I'll take first year Arkansas Nuss. Freshman year Arkansas Nuss. Of course, I want to see better decision making and stuff, but I want to see him be himself, play comfortable, and spread that thing out.
Yeah.
Tasha's Mitch asked, since she asked earlier about what do we think about Nuss to neighbors. I'm gonna answer that. I do know that can you hear him, Michael Jackson?
Not really.
Okay. All right. I want to see Nuss and what they did in the offseason, because every offseason, I do know Nuss was working with Malik. He was working with all the wide receivers. So we know what Jaden did with those guys. We also know since Nuss has came in, Nuss has always worked with the wide receivers. He's had the locker rooms. I guess you could say stamp of approval. I just want to see them, see it all come to fruition at this point.
Yeah, I don't really want to see much of Nuss to Malik, to be honest with you. I want to see about a quarter of that.
Okay.
Because for two parts, I don't want Malik to risk anything injury wise to jeopardize his future.
That's true.
Same with BTJ, but at the same time, I want to see Nuss developing some chemistry with Sheldon Sampson, with Jalen Brown, with Kyron Lacey, with Chris Hilton, some of these guys who he gonna be dependent on next year. Go ahead and start developing that now. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like now. Same thing with the running backs. You know what I mean? I want to see him throwing the ball out to Caleb Jackson out the backfield. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some of that stuff now so we can go ahead and see what we have. Same with the defense. You mentioned the secondary. I'll agree with that 100%. But I also add to it, I want to see Deshaun Womack, Jackson Howard, some of these young guys on the defensive line. What can they do in pass rush situations? What can they do whenever they're given the opportunity? So I don't want to see much of some of these older guys who we not really going to be dependent on next year. I want to see who the guys who we're going to be rolling with next year in 2024. Go ahead and get these guys experience, get these guys reps, and let them, audition for the playing time next year.
Yeah. I did on the graphic I have, and I don't know if many people noticed it. Is of course new year, new era. We've got Nuss on there. We've got Coach Sloan, Coach Hankton. We got Chris Hilton on there. I want to see Chris Hilton break out. Not necessarily in this game, but I do want to see him establish something. We saw the flash of greatness when we was when we had John Trey playing quarterback, throwing 80-yard bombs to close out a game, against Kansas State, to Chris Hilton. Yeah. I want to see that again. Some other things, some of y'all, which our good man Paul says he want to see a competent defense in this game.
I think we all do.
I completely agree. If I could see second half, Texas A&M, not even second half, I say fourth quarter defense versus Texas A&M, I'm good. If I can see second half versus Mizzou, I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another one.
Another name I forgot. Aaron Anderson.
Yeah. Roy Cousins says Nuss needs to take intermediate throws instead of the deep balls all the time. If he can do that, we will be fine. Or he will be fine. I agree.
I think having second year under Joe Sloan and Denbrock, I think he's gonna be a totally different quarterback than the last time we saw him versus Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be a lot more taking what the defense give him and less trying to force things.
All right, Zay finna get us in trouble. All right, expectations / predictions, I guess you could say, because they go kind of go hand in hand.
It's hard because I don't really know what to expect from Wisconsin. So I don't really know what to expect. Like, is our defense finna go see a top defense, or is our defense finna go see a defense that's missing 6 guys? You know what I mean? So I expect LSU to move the ball on offense and put up some points. Defensively, I expect to see a lot more energy. I expect the guys to be flying around a lot more, because a lot of these young guys, man, they've been waiting on this opportunity. You know what I mean? It's like that pit bull that's been tied up on that chain. You know what I'm saying? Once they get off that chain, ain't no telling what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? They've been waiting on that opportunity. So
we shouldn't do pit bulls because pit bulls are actually nice. You should say chihuahuas. Them things, they vicious.
that's a good point.
But only time I ever been bit by a dog was a chihuahua.
That's a good point. But yes, I mean, so I would expect LSU to put up some points. I would expect the defense to be flying around with some energy, maybe get a turnover or two. And I expect LSU to come out and play the way we've seen them play all year, offensively. Maybe not to the level we've seen them play, but with that same mindset of, keep their foot on the gas at all times on offense.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of. I'm not even gonna say Wisconsin. I don't know what to expect out of our defense. But what I do expect, I expect I don't know if it's the purple glasses or what. I'm expecting the blowout. And by blowout, I'm thinking like 52-24, something like that.
Oh, you saying some points?
Yeah, I'm seeing. I think we can score. I think that
52 a lot though, bro.
But when you have like opt outs and stuff, and we're gonna get to that too. When you have opt outs, depth catches up to you very fast, especially in these bowl games. That is a team that like LSU that's physical. Wisconsin's physical as well. I'm not saying they're not, but when you play in a team like that that's physical and you don't necessarily have the same 2-3 people, saying depth wise that you normally have, that rotation is off a little bit. You got to play an extra 2 or 3 plays here and there on a drive. That catches up to you real quick.
52 though, that's a lot though, man.
We scored 60 what last year? 63.
Yeah, that's a different situation though, man.
I get it. That's true, but
Purdue, I don't think Wisconsin is down as bad as Purdue was last year.
I don't either. But I'm saying they can score. They're going to score 2.
I'm with you. That's a lot though. I think it's gonna be closer to like 38-21. 38-24, something like that.
Gotcha.
Which I mean, 38 points with Nussmeier first start, with not having Malik BTJ play the whole game. I don't think that's necessarily like bad. You know what I mean? I think that's solid.
No,
For
you're right.
your first start. And I think the defense is gonna give up some points. You know, just because they're young, they're gonna have some growing pains. But I don't know. If we put up 52, I'd be elated. But that says a lot about what Nussmeier gonna be doing next year. But I just
I don't
think
think
that's
all 52. I don't think all 52 gonna come from the offense.
Are you saying the defense gonna score that thing?
I think we might get a special team score.
Oh, you really reaching?
Nah, seriously, I think we may get a special team score. We're gonna end up with some short fields.
Who gonna return this special team touchdown?
Greg Clayton Jr. Return a punt. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but seriously though, I don't know. We may see someone
gave you a defensive touchdown before I gave you a special teams touchdown.
Yeah,
I can see a scoop and score.
Yeah, I can see, scoop score, a pick six.
Yeah. Well, I was Sean Womack coming off the edge, you know, saying strip sack, scoop score, something like that. But yeah, I don't see no special teams touchdown.
If special teams didn't give you, yeah, that is true. Field goal is special team. If we don't get a touchdown off of, you know, saying like we may not get a touchdown for return, anything like that. But
short fields, I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? We may get a return that sets you up at the 30, you know what I'm saying, going in. Or you may get, you know, a block kick somewhere or something, you know what I'm saying, or a muff punt or a fumble on a punt, something like that. I can see. I just think special teams is going to set you up short field, maybe once or twice. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Overall, man, anything else before we move on to other bowl games? Because I know we had a lot of people come in talking about opt-outs and stuff. We're gonna get there. Y'all bear with us. So
no, that's really all I got for this bowl game. I'm just ready to see what they look like. Their preview of 2024.
Yeah. They coming. The young ones about to eat, break the record, let the young guys take it. I agree. I completely agree. Next, man, bowl games. Man, we've had some pretty good bowl games. We've had some bowl games that could have stayed where it was at. Best bowl game for you so far? Best bowl game?
Top bowl.
Yeah, mascot and all.
I mean, all right. So my take on bowl games. Whenever you got so many players opting out, and you got so many guys hitting the transfer portal and people not playing and stuff, you got to find a way to make me want to watch your game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell me it's an edible mascot, that's one way for me to kind of be like, all right, you know, I got to tune in and check this out. That I couldn't even really tell you much about the game. I know Kansas State won, but I couldn't tell you much about the game. But
I'll definitely say, you know what's funny about that? I don't even remember who the two teams.
I know Kansas State won. I forgot who they beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a decent game.
Also, the game. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. That was Arizona, Oklahoma. That is probably my favorite. My favorite. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl. We talked about that a little bit. USC Louisville. I enjoyed that one. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas UNLV.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah. Ooh, Coach Green came. What's good, Coach Green? We coming to it. We That's next up. He asked about opt-outs as well. We're gonna talk about it. Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M.
Oklahoma. Oh, I ain't.
You didn't watch them.
I did, but
I'm gonna tell you another game that was boring, but I enjoyed it. Mizzou versus Ohio State.
oh yeah, that game was terrible. Oh my
Terrible.
god,
I enjoyed it. It was terrible. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Kentucky Clemson.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was just about to mention that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then the Peach Bowl yesterday with Ole Miss and Penn State was pretty good. I couldn't watch it. I was trying to keep, but I was keeping up with it. The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl.
Didn't pay attention.
I couldn't keep up, but Wyoming. So Toledo was winning the whole game. The score was like 6-3, 9-3, 12-3, 15-3. They scored. They was literally scoring on like field goals the whole game. And Wyoming went down and scored on a last second field goal to win it, 16-15.
Crazy.
Pretty, yeah, crazy.
Auburn got he said Brandon Reese said, I can't believe Auburn got stomped by Maryland.
I can.
Oh, man,
I can. Somebody said it best. Auburn, when they've played good teams, the only two teams that they didn't struggle with as far as like a decent team, Alabama and Georgia, ironically. The only they played them closer, you know what I'm saying, than probably most teams.
That's the rivals though.
Yeah. Every other game they got blew out.
But
see, they're playing a good team.
Mike Loxley back-to-back 8-win seasons at Maryland for the first time since 2003, I think. Something like that. Crazy what Mike Loxley doing up there.
Now I can't answer this. Coach Green says, I wonder what the numbers in attendance for some of these bowl games. So let me tell you, terrible.
It don't matter.
I forget which bowl it was. I want to say it was because they have it. Rutgers, Miami, I think. They put that the numbers up. The Celebration Bowl had better numbers than most of these bowl games. I know it's a championship.
But that don't matter. They don't care about attendance numbers for bowl games, bro.
I know. I'm just saying.
Like the real question is, what do the viewership numbers look like? What do the ratings look like? Because that's what they care about. How many people are watching these games? Because that's where the money comes from. The money comes from the TV deals. So it don't really matter if you got 13,000 people at the game or 50,000 people at the game. It matters how many people tuning in at home.
That's fair. That's fair. Also that game in Nashville yesterday, Auburn and Maryland, that game, it was cold. It was cold, bro. I woke up because I was like, man, that's only an hour and a half drive. So I might can go to that game. I opened the door at home. I felt that wind. Like, man, changed my mind. Did I ever? I don't even think I watched it on. I put it on TV and turned the heat on. So cold out there. But everybody keeps asking about it. So let's talk about it. Opt-outs. We've seen a lot of people, actually, just about everybody in here. Let's see. Chuck said the opt-out and transfer portal showed the outcomes, which Ohio State and Florida State lost. Coach Green, when he came in, he said, hey, what do y'all think about the guys sitting out of bowls, and do the NCAA have something to do, they have to do something to stop this? Chance asked specifically about LSU. How does LSU deal with Lance Hurd? They can't have these holdouts every year. How do they handle this set? How they handle this sets of precedents? And then, of course, everybody in there was talking about kind of about, opt-outs and who's going to sit out and stuff like that. I think Kirby Smart made a very good point yesterday, talking about how it affects teams. When your team, it's like Florida State Florida State probably would have lost to Georgia yesterday if they were at full strength, minus of course Jordan Travis. But that game would have been a lot closer. I feel like that. Well, yeah, I ain't they ain't even know what's called. That game would have been a lot closer. Still a blowout, maybe, but it would have been a lot closer. But you also got to think it's okay. And somebody, I think Dr. Cavill said this. It's okay when everybody else makes business decisions until the student athletes makes the business decision. So we try to find ways to force the student athlete to participate in these games. But we're not looking at any other, I guess you can say, solutions. So ask my question. What do we do to incentivize or make it worthwhile?
All right. So we just talked about these bowl games and how much money is in these bowl games, right?
Yep.
You want kids to play in bowl games, pay them.
They can do an NIL deal with each player. If you participate in the bowl, NIL.
If you participate in the bowl, you get $1,500. You get whatever, you get how much, you know what I'm saying? Pay them.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, what 15? And I understand what you're saying, $1,500. But what is $1,500 to somebody who's thinking about going to the draft? How do you change stuff like that?
You're not getting those guys not to play. I mean, that ain't happening. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
there's no incentive for a guy who's going to pro to play in a bowl game unless he's playing for a national championship. So if you opting out because you finna go make $10 million, then yeah, I mean, what you gonna do with $5,000 that these bowl games gonna pay you to play? You know what I mean? Like, so I understand that, but I'm talking about the guys who transferring and choosing not to play because they transferring. Maybe if I'm finna get a $5,000 check, I might do like Fitzgerald West and enter my name in the transfer portal, but still play in this bowl game.
Yeah. Which that actually happens a lot more than we think. You talked about culture. Last year, Bryce Young was the number 1 overall pick. He still played in the bowl game. Will Anderson was the number 3?
Mm-hmm.
He still played in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something within your culture as well. We looking at like now with LSU, we know Jaden's sitting out, but I honestly think this is probably the best move. Jaden's still there. He's sitting out. He paid his way. I'm pretty sure he paid his own way to go to the game. Because I don't think you can. I don't know. I ain't gonna speculate. But either way, Jaden's still there for the team. Everybody else is playing for the most part. There's got to be something within your culture. You know what I'm saying? You've got to build that bond, that brotherhood.
I think culture part of it, but even with because Alabama's had players who sat out, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
too. I mean, I think culture is also the player, individual player, what you know what I'm saying, that factors into it. But just as overall general, I think those guys for the most part still gonna sit out. But maybe you don't see as many of them if they know they finna get the check. You know what I mean? Like, and I know we saying what's $10,000 if I know I'm finna go pro, but some of them guys might.
Oh no, 10,000. No, 10,000. But you said 1,500. You said
I know,
15.
but yeah, I said 15. But I'm just saying the comments said 5 to 10. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
But even still, if I'm getting 5,000 or whatever, and I'm finna go make 6 million in the signing bonus, what's 5,000? You know what I mean? But some of them guys might decide to play if they know they was getting something. Especially some of them guys who ain't gonna be a first round pick, who might be a third round pick, who opt out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
To me, the biggest thing isn't the guys who going to the pros who aren't playing. to me, the biggest problem is the guys who enter in the transfer portal who no longer playing. And I think you can definitely do something about that. Move the transfer portal window.
Yeah.
Move it to after bowl season. And for those who say, well, you got early signing days, move early signing day. Move early signing day to August before the season begins. That way, if you really committed and you really know where you want to be, you'll go ahead and sign before
I got mixed feelings on that, but I understand what you're saying. But and you're right.
If you really know where you want to go, it shouldn't matter when you sign.
You're right.
And so, if you really know where you want to go ahead and sign and get out the way before your senior year. And then the coaches have less players that they got to try to keep in their class because some of them have already signed, and they can focus on the ones who really don't know where they want to go. Then you can move the transfer portal window to after the bowl game, and everybody else can sign at the normal February signing period. Now, I know people said, you brought up, what if a coach gets fired? Let the player out of his NLI. I mean, you can put a stipulation there if the coach gets fired, position coach get fired, or whatever, you can get let out your NLI.
Yeah. 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 It's my thing is, I get it. I see it from both sides. From an entertainment stand, and it's something I've said before, and I'm gonna continue to say. The football side, the sport side of football is what we all love. We all enjoy. We can talk about day in, day out. We can debate on, who's better, this, that, and other. It's the business side of football that's got us all messed up. The business side is where, we're talking about, saying whether, a kid should be, and I say a kid because we're talking about 17, 18-year-olds. For the most part, whether a kid should be forced to, well, I say forced, where a kid should be required to, uphold his end of a deal when the coaching staff doesn't. The business side is when we're talking about now, how do you make it so that these student athletes participate in these bowl games because we want to place a bet on it, but we don't know which side to pick because we don't know how many players not playing. But we don't also look at a team where we don't know. We talking about the players, but we got coaches where half the staff is already taking another job and can't even come back and participate and coach with the team, or they, they've got to coach with a team, but they got to still recruit for another team and stuff. We're not talking about holding the adult side of it, as we're not holding them as accountable as we are the student athlete side. So that's the business side of sports that I have the biggest problem with. So,
yep, I agree with you on that, bro. NCAA dropped the ball, bro. And what's crazy is all of this is because of early signing period. All of this is because of early signing period. As far as the transfer portal, opt-outs, and all that, that's because if you didn't have the early signing period in December, then nobody would be opting out, trying to, beat the deadline before the early signing period so they can get in a spot before a high school kid take their spot or whatever the case may be. It's all because of early signing period.
I got something that may be a little bit more simpler. Remove early signing period. But if if the kid is an early enrollee, you allow them to sign. You know what I'm saying? Because what it used to be, they didn't necessarily sign, but they did like a financial aid agreement because they were enrolled in school and stuff like that. Go back to something like that.
I'd be all for something like that. But I mean, just go ahead and do the early signing period in August, bro. Make it official. And everybody's saying that if the coach gets fired, they won't let him out the NI. They do that now. If you sign the NLI in early signing period and your coach leaves for a new job in between then and spring, you can get let out of your NLI and go somewhere else.
We talked about it, and I get it. Another problem is after signing day, because my son signed.
Mm-hmm.
After signing day, the other school that we were looking at, that he was, we were strong ties, and I was, I was like, and I kept in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if this was the right decision. He gets fired after signing day, after the bowl game. So I'm like, if we would have,
If you could have got let out your NLI if you went there.
I know, but then
That's what
people,
I'm saying. Like,
I know.
it's a way out of it.
Don't sign with the coach, sign with the school and all that. That's easier said than done, because you still got to think about the philosophy, the
Yeah, I mean it's a lot that go into it. But my thing is, if you really know that's where you want to be, then why not sign in August?
Yeah, I get it. I was gonna ask you about something else. I can't think of what it was. I knew what I talked about. We talked about opt-outs and stuff. Florida State, Georgia, because this was another thing popped up. People saying the committee got it right.
That didn't even have nothing to do with the committee.
That's why I wanted to go with it. Because people keep, saying, well, and some people said here, well, they would have, would have beat them anyway. Yeah, they probably would have, but that's not the Florida team. That wasn't even the same. That wasn't the same Florida State we saw at the beginning of the season. That wasn't even the same Florida State we saw in the championship game.
That wasn't even
the same Florida State we saw at the end, the last game of the season.
That ain't
the regular season.
So they would have played if they would have made the playoff.
Bingo.
That has no correlation. But I think it shows that they shouldn't have been over Georgia, no matter what.
Well, speaking of playoffs, let's talk about them for a real, real quick. We got the playoff games also be happening on tomorrow. Alabama taking on Michigan, and then you got Texas taking on Washington in the Sugar Bowl. With Michigan, that Michigan-Alabama game is early, isn't it? That's like the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock game or whatever.
I think so. I think it's the early game.
All right. Initial thoughts on the game. Do we need let me pull up the spread and stuff like that, because it's still last I checked.
I took Alabama plus 2.5 though.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, because I do know the last time I checked, it was I think it was Michigan. Last one I saw was Michigan. Okay, here it is. Hold on, get both of them here. All right, it was okay. It's 1.5. It's Michigan. It's favored by 1.5. Yeah, you got it good. So it's Michigan by 1.5. Over under 45, minus 125, plus 105.
I've seen this movie too many times. Give me Alabama.
I wanted to, and the hate in me wants to pick Michigan for this upset. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish both teams could lose. The crap that Michigan has pulled this year with the scandal and the playing, I didn't know. He didn't know anything about it, and bull. Because this didn't just happen this year. This has been over a 3-4 year span, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that like it's come out, because it came out, said that's why Clemson was able to hold in like LSU in the beginning of the game of the championship game 2019. I do want to say Clemson beat Alabama 44-16 in 2018 in the national championship game. I wouldn't be surprised if that had something to do with it, that blowout as well. because the first Clemson score was a pick six. They ran a route and they jumped the route. So I wouldn't be surprised. And Venerables is good, but
that's a good point. I ain't never thought about that. But man, I just don't. I'm not betting against Nick Saban when it comes to this situation, bro. I done seen it too many times. I done counted him out too many times, and he always seemed to find a way to win in these situations. So I don't know if Michigan gonna be able to keep up with Bama, bro.
Yeah. So Edwin says, you don't believe most of the top teams do what Michigan got caught red-handed doing? They do it, but I think it's more or less
to the extent that Michigan went and did it. No,
yeah.
It's just like Bill Belichick's Spygate. I think everybody tries to steal other people's signals, but not everybody go film practices.
Not everybody go, which I'm still pissed about. I was a huge Rams fan at the time. I can't. Yeah, I hated that they that's how they won was 2002. The first one, or 2003, I guess you would say. No, it was 2002. Either way, it was 2003. I thought it was 2002.
Well, it's 2002 season, but it was in the year 2003.
Was I a freshman?
No, it was the year 2001 season, but it was
2002. Yeah. Okay, that's what. Yeah. I'll tell you how I remember that too. I can't say it on air. Anyway, that I hated that. People still signal, just like baseball, they're still in the signs. People steal signs and stuff all the time. It's just they don't go to the extent of signaling and hitting the trash can type stuff and stuff like that.
Or use Apple Watches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not what they did, it's the extent of how they got to doing what they were doing.
Yeah. Perfect example. Do people cheat on tests? Of course they do. When you leave out, you know what I'm saying, if you had a friend that took a test with you, you know what I'm saying, they might leave out, hey, this question was on the exam, blah, blah, blah. That's, you know what I'm saying, people didn't necessarily get in trouble for that. But if you wrote down the answers and passed them along, that's when you got in trouble. So that's the issue I had. Now, back to the actual game. Alabama, Michigan. I'm with you. I don't think Michigan has enough. They're gonna have to prove me wrong. As much as I hate to say that, they definitely gonna have to prove me wrong.
I hope they do, but I just don't see it.
This is 1.5. I don't think Alabama should be the underdog. Period.
Me neither, but I'll take it.
So, but I can't bet on Alabama. That's one of my rules. And the reason why, Alabama, every time I've ever bet on Alabama, if I bet them to cover the spread, they would say the spread was 11, they'll win by 10.
Oh no, I ain't taking them nothing that big.
You know what I'm saying? But even if I've had the Alabama playing like Middle Tennessee State, and the spread be like 35, and they'll win by 33. So it used to drive me nuts. But I do think they win this one. It's probably by a touchdown game. So Michigan proved me wrong. But on the other side, Texas, Washington. The spread is 4. Texas is favored by 4. The over under 63.5. Money line minus 175 for Texas, plus 145 for Washington. I didn't realize this until somebody said something. Or I saw it. This is a rematch of the Alamo Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington ended up winning. This is 2 different teams, though, for the most part. Part of me want to take Washington, but I think Texas end up winning this game and plays Alabama. in the championship in a rematch.
Have you seen Washington in a close game?
Every game, just about every game, Washington's play has been a close game.
I'm saying, I mean, this last game versus Oregon wasn't really close, but first game versus Oregon was the only close game I said they had versus a good team.
Okay, versus good team. Okay, now if that's you want to clarify that, but they've played some terrible teams and it's been
That's
close
my
games.
point, though.
Yeah,
They ain't really been in no situation where they had to play a tough team in a close game, except for that first Oregon game. I mean, Texas had to go to Bama and beat Bama.
yeah.
I mean, they had close games. Although they lost, they had a close game versus Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. But I think Washington is gonna put up some points versus that Texas secondary if they can give Penix time. But their offensive line just won the Joe Moore Award, so that's telling me that they got a pretty good offensive line. So I think Washington gonna put up some points, but I don't know why. Something just telling me it's gonna be a rematch of Texas Bama.
I think
I
so
don't know
too.
why. I don't know why, and I don't know how Texas wins, but I think Texas finds a way to win. I don't know how. I don't see it, but
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. So I think we both on the same page with Bama, Texas, both getting the wins. Watch that blow up in our face.
I mean, I'd be cool with that. That means Bama don't win that championship. I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna tell you why I didn't want, because we were talking about it. I was talking with a friend a few weeks ago. We were talking about different teams we wouldn't mind seeing win the championship. I said, of course, I don't want to see Bama win it. I said I don't want to see Michigan or Texas. It was like, why not Texas? I was like, because I don't want Texas to have a national champion, just win a national championship and come into the SEC, and then they think they're gonna run thing. That's all they're gonna do is talk. The whole what's called it. I also don't, of course, I don't want to see Michigan because of the cheating stuff. I actually, if I had to pick,
Yeah, for that.
it would have had
the cheating thing. Me
say
personally,
what?
I don't really care about the cheating thing personally, because they not. It ain't like they're doing it right now.
I don't care. So, and the reason why I didn't care, I don't like the cheating stuff because it's not so much of I'm a football purist and I want the game to be. It ain't nothing about that. It's just like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just something
Like,
about it. Man, you know what? I know what it
when
is.
they was cheating, that would have been different to me. But
I
they
know
was
what it is.
cheating this year, so.
It's not even so much the cheat. I'm gonna tell you, I can use the cheese as surface. I got a coworker that's a big Michigan fan.
Okay, now we talking. Okay, I'm gonna
And
tell you, I don't
and
want
I guess this is a moment of truth. This is a moment of truth. He has talked about Michigan and Detroit, and I was like, yeah, Detroit doing. And I mess with him. He's like, but he thinks Michigan is one of the best teams ever in college football. And I was like, no. I was like, now I understand like the winning and all, like as far as like the total number of wins, but I have to hear him talk about Michigan like
the truth coming out now.
I have to hear him talk about Michigan like, and I was telling him about the stuff where I said Harbaugh's going, nothing's going to happen in Michigan. Yeah. So it is. So they gonna and I was telling him, you know, saying what was going, that's never going to happen, and everything I said was going to happen started happening. Open an investigation. They did this, and his response was that the law firm that did it is Ryan Day's brother. Bruh, you just don't know the stuff I deal with sometimes. That's why I don't go in the office. Anyway.
I ain't got no beef with Michigan, so I wouldn't be mad if they won it.
I mean, I went if they won it, cool, but
I don't want Washington to win it. Not this year.
The Penix should have won Heisman talk. Yeah, nah, yeah. I'm being honest with you. I'm more at ease if Texas wins it.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with Texas winning it.
But
I really don't want to hit their fans, but
no, not at all. And you're right, Zay. We do need to said drug test that coworker immediately. I don't call for a
worse.
drug test on nobody. But yeah. We got some other bowl games too. I just didn't name them because I didn't care. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't really care neither.
I know Tennessee play, so I think matter of fact, I do. I'm just naming. I ain't gonna pick a winner now. I just want to look at someone who left to play. It ain't many teams. It's like Liberty, Oregon,
Oh, I
Iowa,
took Oregon
Tennessee.
by 17. Give me that easy money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Iowa,
Let me
Tennessee.
see.
What you think about that though? Tennessee got their freshman quarterback playing versus Iowa
Nico.
offense.
I mean, it's Iowa defense.
I mean, versus Iowa offense. Well, either offense look pretty good tomorrow
I think Tennessee will look.
against that defense.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be telling. It's gonna be. Woo. He said
Hey,
that's like it would say like being in Texas when UT wins. Oh, your nerves. Yeah. That's why I don't like Alabama. I have to hear it too much. And then like my car, I've got like an LSU tag. I have like LSU flags, and people will randomly pull up to me in traffic and be trying to tell me RT. Go F yourself. One dude almost anyway. We can get off that. All right, NFL today, man. This past weekend and all that kind of good stuff.
I
Any
think you was
surprise
right about the Chiefs.
about them missing the enemy?
Yep. Dang, Oregon fans key her car. That's too far.
Oh yeah.
That's far right there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the Chiefs missed the enemy, man. I think it's pretty safe to say that.
My question. We've seen Washington got beat by they played 49ers though. 49ers. Fool's gold
Who gonna beat them?
in the NFC, I don't know. Dallas, Philly, I don't
Neither
know.
one of them teams look the same the last few weeks, neither.
No.
Dallas and Philly. So I mean,
Yeah.
Detroit. I mean, just by like default, I got San Fran coming out the NFC. I mean, before the season, I said San Fran, Baltimore.
And that's Baltimore looking legit.
Give Lamar Jackson the MVP today, right now. Just go ahead
Hey,
and end the voting.
have you seen the conspiracy theory about the NFL, the Super Bowl logos and the teams that play?
Nah.
So if you look at the logos
Oh,
for the
they
NFL, what game are you watching?
Chiefs Bengals. Jamar
Okay, I
Chase.
don't want. Okay, you ahead of me. You ahead of me. I ain't see. But yeah, that's it. The color theory. So if you look at the Super Bowl logos, when you look at the logos from the last few Super Bowls, like the one I think it's the one with crap. what was it? The one with the Rams. Or actually, if you go back to the Bucks and the Chiefs, if you go back and look at the logo, I think this coloring in there is like it's like a red and then like another. It's like the colors are like the Chiefs and the Bucks. If you go back into I'm just getting there to the fight. If you go back and look at the one with the Rams and the Cincinnati, it's got blue and orange.
Yeah, this one they got purple in them more this year.
Purple and red.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they were saying. And then they tried to change it up and did a different color, but it was like, so are we gonna see Buffalo now? Because it was like Buffalo and somebody. But yeah, it's a color it's pretty interesting. That script. I gotta see the script. But see, okay, D-Law said he loves Lamar, but he's waiting on postseason play.
That's
but
fair.
the MVP is not a postseason award.
Yeah,
though.
but that's just about the MVP. That ain't. I said I got him in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
I think he got. I think Munkin having you know I'm gonna throw him in the
weapons though.
having T Martin, finally having wide receivers with Zay Flowers and Odell. And bro, come on.
Yeah, I feel that's very valid though. About the playoffs. That's very valid. But the thing about it, I think this year he's playing different. He's not relying on his legs as much. He's beating people from the pocket more. So I think that translates more to postseason play than the way he's usually played.
Yeah. What's your boy, Coach Jason? Not I say your boy, but Coach Jason Brown. When he was talking about him, he was like, "Have you seen?" He said it was a clip. He's talking about Lamar. He said Lamar is not a good quarterback. He's not. I forgot what he said, but
that girl on Fox Sports Radio said he's not quarterbacky. She likes her quarterbacks quarterbacky. He's not quarterbacky enough for her. What the hell does that even mean?
So freaking stupid. A lot of people owe Cam Newton an apology too. When he came out and talked about quarterbacks that are game changers, game managers and game changers, he's like, we have the negative connotation. And what he meant, and when he explained it, it made perfect sense. And he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Because the very next game, you see Brock Purdy go out and throw, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ain't nobody going out looking for the next Dak Prescott.
Tell me the lie.
He not lying though. It was just funny though. Like it's like I don't know why it's funny to me because they always use Dak. You know what I mean? Like, but I know it's because he's the Cowboys and he getting paid a lot. But ain't nobody going looking for the next Derek Carr neither.
Dennis Allen, stupid ass.
Like, he wouldn't got the same Derek Carr. He didn't even go look for another one. He wouldn't got the same one.
Oh, that's terrible, man. I don't know. Edwin said, did she get she didn't get ripped for the quarterbacky comment?
Oh yeah, she did.
She did. Who is it?
Balencia, something like that. She on Fox Sports Radio. I'll send you the thing.
Yeah, that's great. All right, man. You got anything else? Oh, the Saints won today.
Yippee. I mean, they won just to keep hope alive enough for another week, just for them to beat Atlanta. But the Buccaneers beat the Panthers, so you still don't make the playoffs.
Here's my thing. Dennis Allen does just enough to look like things may change or to look like they're making improvement, only to have another season of mediocrity. Yeah. I do want to say the Bengals look like they finna take it to the Chiefs. They're up 10-7 right now. I know we just talked about the Chiefs and holes, being everything, but I thought that the Chiefs was. I mean, not Chiefs. I thought the Bengals was done when Burrow went out.
Shout out to Jake Brown.
Yeah,
Hey, what's crazy though? When I just went to go try to find the tweet,
it's gone.
deleted it. Fox Sports deleted the tweet because the whole point was Lamar is an MVP. Christian McCaffrey should be MVP.
I think he has a case, but
Then she said Lamar is a great athlete, but he's not quarterbacky enough to be a quarterback for her.
what the hell does that mean? I hear what you. That sounds. No comment.
Oh, it's very undertoned. No, yeah, it's definitely what it was. And what's crazy? Never mind. I sent it to you on Twitter, but
All right. Want to close out with some basketball real quick? Women's basketball.
Man, that embarrassment last night.
LSU women beat Jacksonville 114-69, something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. I cut the game off. That was pissing me off. They couldn't make a layup to save their damn life last night.
You talking about
LSU, man, they couldn't make shit last night. Boy, they pissed me off so bad. They got all their points from the free throw line, man. Angel Reese had a double-double without making a shot. When you ever seen that in your life?
James Harden?
She was 0 for 4 from the field with a double-double. You ain't never seen that before, man. That pissed me. They couldn't make nothing last night. That was embarrassing. And I know they won, so ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I'll be the one to say it. That was embarrassing. They need. Well,
they open up with a bunch of threes.
They can't beat nobody. I don't care. You can't make layups. You ain't finna win many conference games.
That's true.
Because you're not finna get 30, 40 free throw attempts per game in conference play.
Yeah. I said it. I know we've had conversation. You said it. I noticed it. I repeat and I echo. LSU should have went and got an actual point guard in the transfer portal. Okay. They went for the name, and it's like that's the equivalent of let's get a 5-star because a former 5-star because he's a former 5-star.
Yeah, I don't like the fit. It might still work.
I think it can still work. It ain't doing well right now.
I don't know if it can win you a national championship though.
Yeah.
This team might go as far as last tier Poa takes them, since she's the only true point guard right now on the team.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Tasha.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I got another one for you though. This is off LSU. I think the touchdown Bengals. I think the in-season tournament, as much as it helped the NBA as far as bringing attention early.
Oh no, don't go there.
No, I ain't going where you think. I think it and it could have been just the timing of this year because NFL was on the same, like on Christmas as well as the NBA. But I didn't have the same interest in the NBA games on Christmas as I did.
Christmas is dead for the NBA now.
As I did for the NFL.
NFL on Christmas now. You can wrap that up. If the NFL playing that day, it's gonna belong to the NFL.
Yeah, I really would have. I would have loved to see the in-season tournament start around Christmas Day, and then go through and finish before the before All-Star break.
I don't think that would matter. I think if the NFL playing, bro, the NFL is gonna be the most viewed. Like in it don't matter what you do. You could have the finals game 7 be on Christmas.
Yeah. Hey, we said this earlier. I know this off subject. Zay said Tasha runs the best LSU group on this app or any app, just in case y'all didn't know. Definitely true. Yeah. El was saying NFL hijacked NBA Christmas basketball.
It don't matter what you do, NBA. You can put game 7 of the finals on Christmas Day. People gonna watch the NFL.
Yeah. It was. I literally. It's funny. I'm telling you how I really realized it. I called Real. So, said Chris, hey, Merry Christmas. Said, what you doing? He said, I'm finna watch all these football games today. I said, football? He said, yeah. He said, it's a triple header. Football games. I said, oh, okay. I was thinking, dang, you ain't gonna watch no NFL? I mean, NBA?
I ain't watch a single NBA game on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and it ain't nothing the NBA can do. I mean, the NFL just king.
Yeah. Big shout out to, I do want to say big shout out to the Pels. We'll be on local stations now in New Orleans. So
About damn time, but
yeah. Makes sense, but I don't know why it's just not happening. Brandon Reese said basketball on every day of the week anyway, not missing nothing. Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna be honest with you, since bowl season started, I have not watched. Well, I ain't gonna say watch. I haven't really kept up with college basketball either.
Me neither. I ain't watched a single college basketball game.
What's shady? What's shady, DK? I don't know. All right. What you got? You hear them? That's my daughter. Yeah. But hey, before we get up out here, what else we got?
That's all I got, man. These Chiefs about to implode on the sidelines.
It's hilarious. Hilarious. When I told people that, never mind. Anyway,
yeah, you did. I was with you. I just felt like they was gonna get it together at some point, but they ain't figured it out.
Oh, he said about the quarterbacks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they finna. Oh, he didn't.
That boy.
He barely got it back. I agree. Oh, and you froze. Zay says Taylor Swift's fault. I completely agree. I told y'all, why? Ooh. When I told them before, I said, as soon as he left, I said, that's what's wrong. I said, they not gonna win. I called it. I literally said it. Yeah. Brandon, hold on. Let me see. We get Ant back on so we can definitely answer this one. Because that's a good question. Hold on. All right, y'all give us 1 second. We had a little technical difficulty. See if we can get Ant back. I'll give us 1 second. I apologize for inconvenience. Yeah, Coach Green. Yeah, he's Mickey. Mickey Joseph has both of Southern's old head coaches now as at Grambling on his staff. That's wild. That is wild. Oh my goodness. Absolutely not, Brandon Reese. We're gonna talk about it. Give me a second. Let me get Ant back and we'll have that conversation. Here you go. All right.
I don't know what just happened.
It's the end of the year. Hey, so Brandon Reese brought up a good question. And he says, not to get off topic, but who do y'all want to be the next DC and D-line coach? He said, I will get Bo Davis to fill those spots. And then
I
he
would
also
love Bo
said
Davis.
he also said bring Corey Raymond back too.
I'll let you handle that one. But
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I would
not.
love for Bo Davis to be the. I would love Bo Davis to be the coach.
Uh-oh. Now, and we get having difficulties. But Brandon Reese, who I want to see, I'm gonna tell you who I wouldn't mind seeing come back and be DC. I wouldn't mind seeing Blake Baker. I wouldn't mind seeing him. That's a name that not a lot of people mention. But I honestly think that we're going to end up with I think we're going to end up with Matt House coming back. We're going to have to get a D-line coach from somewhere. I'm not honestly, I hadn't looked at many. I know Ant has looked at a few people, but yeah, as far as Corey Raymond, if he came back in the analyst role, and not saying he can't coach anything like that, if he comes back in the analyst role, if he comes back in some capacity outside, like not on the field, I can see it. I just don't think I don't think he's the answer right now. Personally, that's just personally what I feel. But that's it, man. That's all we got. We have some. Let's see what we get. Let's try that one more time.
I don't know what's going on, man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. You're freezing up. Yeah, I understand. That's what a lot of people say. He says he would bring Raymond back from a recruiting standpoint. I understand that. The only caveat I have to that is, can he get you anyone better than what you're getting now? Because he hasn't been doing so lately. He wasn't able to do it at Florida. He wasn't doing it in his last few years at LSU. He wasn't getting anybody who wasn't already LSU ties or anything. So he wasn't pulling the, and it's not fair to say, but he wasn't pulling Patrick Surtain. He wasn't pulling Desmond Ricks or anybody like that. So if he's not going to get you anybody better than what now, this is actually Chuck say Corey Raymond be great for Grambling secondary as a coach.
Now you talking.
I honestly don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's actually good. Golly, I think he mentioned it before. That was a good hire, Coach Green. He said he liked it. Chevis Jackson. I like it. I like Chevis. I have no problems with Chevis. I think people are I think they out on Steeples too fast, personally. But I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Man. Hey, we had to get the internet problems out in 2023. Hopefully.
Yeah, let's get them out. Brandon Reese said he doubts Blake Baker leaves Missouri. So bring back Bo to be DC. Bo Davis. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, he froze again. All right. All right. You there? Or you still froze?
I'm here, but I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. Hey, let's go ahead and get up out of here because they already said your internet sponsored by Boost Mobile.
We don't even got that in Monroe.
Oh man. Hey, we doing this. I just want y'all to know we doing the show early now because we don't know what we'll be like later on anyway. So
Well, I'm gonna be like,
but let me ask you this, man. We getting up out of here. It's 2020, end of 2023. What's your New Year's resolution?
I don't make them because I know I ain't gonna keep them. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. I'm gonna start arguing with folks on the internet. I say that. I don't know if it's
Boy,
true.
you lying.
I don't know if it's true. Listen, it's either argue with folks in this house or argue with people on the internet. So
You might win some of the ones on the internet.
that's true. That's true. That's true. Because ain't nobody in here letting up. But man, let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week sometime. I'm looking at the calendar. I don't know when. We'll be back next week sometime.
Maybe Sunday.
Maybe Sunday. Maybe. Oh, we might be back Wednesday, Thursday, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we get back to what's called, but we'll see. We'll be back. Next Sunday sound good to me. Let's start next Sunday. Will be the start of a new year. We'll do it like that. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like that, we out. This show was presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.